Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Si. Welcome to Business in a Brew, a podcast dedicated to all things business with the occasional cuppa.
We take a business story, theory, or something we just want to chat about and give it a dusting of our own special personality and sense of humour, combined with our experience and knowledge. We're both business graduates and have run our own businesses for many years. We can't wait for you to listen. Hello.
Right. Hello.
Let's get so annoyed when they listen to me going, hello.
Yeah. What's the topic today?
We're going to have a conversation. Because we love a conversation.
Wow.
My conversation is
what on one sheet of paper?
No, it's not. These are two. There's a staple in it. How can it be one sheet of paper if there's a staple in it?
Oh.
So it's two. Multiple sheets of paper. That's so rude. You're so judgy and we haven't even started.
Right. Oh, yes. So there's two,
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So my question, and I'll give a little bit of background first. Do you really need a niche? Or is that just like over-popularised advice? And I think this will be interesting because you and I come from two ends of the spectrum on this. You have a niche and I do not have a niche. So that'll be interesting. So the idea of niching is kind of like everywhere. People tell you have to niche down in order to be successful. Like your messaging, your marketing. If you don't niche, you're speaking to everyone instead of speaking to your ideal client. But is it actually necessary is the question. So 57% of small business owners in the UK say they felt pressured to niche down way before they were ready to do so.
Right.
And maybe it's that thing of committing to something when you don't really know what you want to commit to. Like what you want for dinner in the morning when you haven't really had your day and decide what you want.
Well, yeah, starting a business up and trying to niche immediately.
It would be very difficult.
Unless you absolutely have a definitive business model that depends on that.
Yes.
You wouldn't do that.
But I get that they felt pressure because I do it. Because I don't niche. You see all the messaging out there that your marketing must be crap if you don't niche because you're not talking to anyone specific. Actually, my marketing's very good.
But hang on, it's not your marketing, it's your strategy. If they're telling you it's your marketing, it's actually your strategy.
Potentially. Yeah. 41% of freelancers report changing their niche at least once in the first 2 years, which would imply people are niching for the sake of niching and then going, yeah, actually, that's nothing. And multi-passionate, so those who self-identify as having multiple core interests.
Multi-passionate? Is that hyphenated?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you want to see the hyphen?
Never. I can visualise it.
Thanks.
Well, that's interesting. I've never heard of multi-passionate before.
So they're more likely to start businesses.
I've heard multi-disciplined.
Yes. It's a nice word.
But it's the same thing, effectively.
I'm multi-passionate. They're more likely to start businesses, but also more likely to struggle with decision fatigue and messaging clarity. Which links into, does a niche then help or does it make you bored more easily?
Oh, help or hindrance.
So, very quick definition. What is a niche? It's who you serve, how you do it, and why they come to you over someone else.
Okay.
I think that last bit's a little bit of a USP thing, but it's that one person. It's the one person out of 100 you're speaking to. Your big product isn't for everyone. Well, it can be. So, your arguments for niching, easier to market a message, faster audience connection, which equals higher conversion rates. Simpler to get referrals, like, she's the podcast coach for therapists, or he's the website people for greetings cards. You become known for something, and authority builds faster when you're known for something. Arguments against, it can feel limiting or creatively suffocating. Some people aren't built to specialise, they thrive in intersections, so they thrive having that choice and that variety. Multi-hyphen careers are on the rise, where more people want to do multiple things at once. I have never heard of a multi-hyphen career.
Wow.
So essentially
multi-hyphen
thingy slash.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
And then niching too soon can box you in a direction before you really know what it is you're doing or where you want to go.
Okay, well, I agree with all those, but it's going to be different for every individual business.
Yeah, but some people will argue and will tell you that if you do not niche, you will not be successful.
Wait a minute. Are these the experts?
Yes, them.
That actually earn out of helping guide you into that?
Yeah, we're that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's take your cynical head off. You have niched in your business. When you started your business, wasn't an intention to find a single area of operation, or is this something that evolved over time?
No, it's an evolution. Everything's an evolution. I think a business that starts on one strategy and remains doggedly to that strategy may be missing out on opportunities. And all I'm saying is I started out with an open approach, which was to offer our service to businesses that basically wanted some clarity and wanted to actually understand what the web could offer them and how we could help them through our service to maybe grab a little bit more of their market share. So that was anyone at that time, because we couldn't tell back in 2003 and 4 where the internet was going to go. We had an inkling that it was going to grow and grow and grow, but we didn't know at what pace and where it was going to end up specialising. Exactly. But it became obvious that there was an aspect, there was an area of business that was, to us then, untapped and had a lot of potential, which is the B2B market. And it became obvious that we should do something about that. So that's where we put our investment in that. We talked about that earlier. But we have not solely.
No, because if someone came to you outside of that industry that you specialise in.
If it's e-commerce, we know exactly what to do. We know exactly how to do it, and we can help anyone who needs to sell online. But the B2B side of things is more specialised, because actually there are some very peculiar aspects to that a lot of companies don't get. That is, a lot of web companies just don't get. So we've spent a lot of time refining that and getting that. So we there is a niche aspect to what we do, but everything isn't subjugated to that niche.
Yeah. There's a niche aspect in two ways as well, because yes, you are a specialist partner to the greetings industry, which you could expand to say giftware and stationery.
Yeah.
But you've also niched into B2B e-commerce. You do
which serves a much wider audience.
B2C.
Yeah.
But they tend to be as a consequence of already having a B2B or needing both.
Yeah.
You don't tend to do many standalone B2C websites.
No, because the growth for us is in the other. But yeah, this isn't a plug for us, but it's more the understanding of where niche fits in. So should you niche or shouldn't you niche? You should do what's right for your business. And I understand keeping it general, because we do have a general mindset as well.
Yeah.
Because there's practically no sector we haven't worked with, but we just have specific knowledge in certain sectors that actually means that we are seen. You said it before. We're seen as experts in that area.
Yeah, because like I worked with a fractional marketing director. She'd had her entire corporate career in the biopharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
So her niche was, as a fractional marketing director, supporting the marketing initiatives of biopharmaceutical companies. She started with a niche because she knew that industry. And not only did she know the industry, she had the contacts. So she could have the right conversations with people. But if you're brand new to business, you've never run a business before, you don't have a community of people to speak to, maybe you don't have those contacts to draw. And, when I started my business, I didn't go and tap up people I used to work with. It wasn't like that. It was, I have to start from scratch. And at that point, I wouldn't have wanted to niche. The reason I don't niche now is because I have the attention span of a gnat, and I would get bored. I like the variety of
I get that.
Farmer to Frank Sinatra impersonators to dog grooming products.
Frank Sinatra impersonators?
Yes, I had one of those at one point. I had it I collected it like a...
we actually worked with a magician once.
Did you? What was his name?
Oh, Peter something or other.
Peter? There's a lot of Peters. We had a lot of Peters yesterday when we were talking as well. What did you do for him? Oh, obviously on a website.
It was very straightforward. No, we were just talking about diversity.
I was just curious now. You've taken me down a rabbit hole.
I don't know I can't remember what his name was. But yeah. In fact, you mentioned of the pharmaceutical industry. Pharmaceutical industry, they will niche. I don't mean into pharmaceuticals because they're in it, but I mean they will. We've worked with a client who specialised in converting adult medicines to paediatric medicines.
Yeah, and you will go even further down into oligonucleotides specifically, or cosmetics, something called. I know.
What?
I know, I've learned stuff.
Oligonucleotides?
Yeah, I tend to just write oligo because it's a really long word.
What is that?
I don't know the answer to that question. It's something to do. No, it's something. No, I just know that they're important. and they think they've got something to do
So
with cancer.
what you're saying is you don't really need to know anything about the businesses that you work with to actually work with them.
I don't need to know about that area of the business because I only know about it because it came up at a conference. You're being mean now.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just.
If you work for a biopharmaceutical and want to employ me, I will absolutely learn information on your behalf. Yeah, but yeah, it's sometimes a niche is, especially in science, because it's such a specialist area.
Mm-hmm.
You want laser focus on it.
Mm.
But marketing, the principles of marketing, they're pretty similar across different types of companies. There are nuances, obviously, and there are different things you have to get to know. And yes, I probably would have to know what an oligonucleotide was.
It's great that you can say it.
Thank you.
Fluently.
I've practiced. Yeah. Not specifically for this, but for meetings.
I'm just surprised that you don't have the answer.
Really annoying me now. It's written down somewhere in a book at home.
Do you want to take a break and come back and actually say what it is?
Well, no, you could whittle and I'll just Google it. No, I'm not going to Google it. It's ridiculous. I just think it's really interesting. I don't like the idea of niching, but I am what I would call multi-passionate. You know, with the book, with the podcast, with the business.
I think even in yourself and what you do and how you do it, and the people that you work with, I've often heard from you that there are I wouldn't say they're similar people, but that people have a similar requirement. You're working with fractional directors.
Yeah, they have similar.
So you have put yourself into a bit of a niche there to target those kinds of people. Have you not? So even though they might be general backgrounds,
it's still a niche, and
you've still identified that as a target type. Yeah, target business type.
I mean, I do have an ideal client, which is quite a specific avatar of person.
So you have done it without.
Yes, but that's not what my client list is. So I know who my avatar is.
Yeah.
If someone said to me, build your dream client out of Lego, put them together and I'll bring them to life, I can tell you every single component. I can tell them where they grew up. I can tell you whether they got kids, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But the reality of my client list isn't that 10 of that ideal client over and over. There are bits and pieces of the ideal client.
No, even so, to do that, to have that target, that ideal person, ideal avatar, is you putting yourself into a niche frame.
That's the strategy of marketing
versus
the tactics of niching, because niching is very much, I'm only going to work with these people, only doing this thing, and I only offer this. Whereas strategically...
But I have niche expertise, and I'm known for that, but that isn't what everything that we do.
I think I might have argued myself out of my question, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Argued yourself into a hole. Yes. No, but that's what this discussion isn't to do that, is it? It's to.
I would have gone into this, and I did, saying I don't have a niche.
People themselves, people who are listening, but people themselves, they don't realise they're niching, even though they are. We're formulating all the time. We're formulating our own target audience.
Okay, can I say it like this then? As a new business owner, as someone that's faced with the advice that you should niche or you should narrow down or whatever, niching should never feel uncomfortable. So for me, you said to me, I need you to niche down, and I'm like, oh God, I suppose, all right, then I'll only talk to, I don't know, marketing directors who work with companies over 250 people. That feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, because that's
fractional directors
contrived.
With values that align with mine feels comfortable.
Absolutely does, yeah.
So maybe it's the definition and the way people view niching that needs to change. Find a comfortable way to do it for you.
Do you feel that people view niching as an uncomfortable area for them?
I think for some people, they find they're being backed into a corner.
When actually all it is, it's targeting the ideal client. As far as my perception, my understanding of it.
But your journey has been an evolution of that. You didn't go in wanting to niche. You went in general, waiting. No. You were open to learning. You were open to seeing where the business would go, and you have naturally evolved. A lot of the noise at the moment, which, let's be honest, didn't exist when you started your business, because there wasn't so much online noise about running your own business and make £10,000 in 10 days. Mm-hmm. A lot of the noise is, right, the minute you start, you need a niche, you need an ideal client, you need this, you need this, you need this. And I think that scares people because they feel like a bit like getting married when you've never met anyone first.
So these people, just to go and remind ourselves of who these people are, these people who have all the noise going on. These are people who are self-publicists, who have made their brand of telling other people to niche.
Yes, essentially.
Yeah. But
that's not rare. That's not rare advice. It's quite common.
No. Yeah, okay, but they're all banging on about that.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's almost, it's implying that everyone should niche. But if everyone's niching, no one can be almost.
True.
There isn't a wide enough business community almost for everyone to have their own niche. And
well,
be
the new
away
niche would
from
be
everyone.
being a generalist because you'd be mopping up
Yeah,
everyone in between.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But the niching aspect means that you're always looking for a blue ocean. There's blue ocean and red ocean.
Mhm.
Get away from a red ocean because that's where the sharks are. Yeah.
The red from the blood?
Yeah.
No, we did talk about this ages ago, but I think I was drunk.
The competition's so fierce, you're stuck in a market where there's only one way to go, and that's the race to the bottom on price, because you can't differentiate yourself.
Yeah.
So getting into a blue ocean is getting away from the competition. But that blue ocean forces you to niche. Completely get that as a business strategy.
Mm.
But it doesn't mean necessarily that you should, because we all acquire business in different ways.
Yeah.
Even now, I went I was on an agency course at uni last year, and it was just about sharing some of the common issues that agency owners have, and particularly we were all web agencies. I was concerned that these people were going to be my competition, and was very, very cagey about what I told them at the beginning.
Holding it back.
But then realised that every single one of us has our own set of unique characteristics and unique audiences. And all it takes is one or two clients in a specific sector, and you have an opportunity to increase the number of clients in that sector, because you become aware of the sector's requirements and sector problems,
and you become uniquely positioned to
and so a company with an offering is going to find itself with specialist knowledge in an area. So there's the question: do you go into business do you create a business with a specific intention of exploiting a niche immediately, which a lot of businesses, I'm sure, do.
Yeah.
But there's a huge number who see that the service they're offering is open to anyone.
Yeah.
And only after a amount of time do they find, and that we fall into that latter camp.
Yeah.
But businesses are as unique as fingerprints. They're all completely different.
That is true.
And certainly I found amongst those agency owners, there's a whole pile of them that are actually friends now, that we all just share some of our successes and some of our frustrations. You know, we all have the same frustrations.
Yes, yeah.
But we all have completely different client bases.
Yeah. And
so there's a protection that we often have. I can't share that because they might steal my idea. And actually, there's a matter of, don't be so ridiculous. No one's going to steal your idea because it's not unique. You're just doing this.
Yeah.
You're doing
there's
that. No one else wants
everyone.
to do that because it's either too much work or there's not enough money in it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But I've found that I really enjoy working with certain types of people in certain sectors, and we just happen to have acquired a good name for ourselves in those sectors.
No, you haven't just happened to acquire it. You've worked very hard to build a reputation.
Right. But I'm not going to say that, am I?
Yeah, because you don't have imposter syndrome.
But I do.
Yeah. Here's a question. What happens if you accidentally end up niching down into an area? Like you pick up a couple of clients and you suddenly become the go-to person for that. In an area you don't actually enjoy, and then you're stuck with a business where you're not loving it. That would be unfortunate. What if I became the go-to person for crooner impersonators and I had like a whole fleet of them? That would be awful.
You'd have to form your own cabaret.
I'd have to be listening to whatever they sang. What did they sing? What type of music?
Well, you wouldn't, would you?
Well, no, I wouldn't know. But
because oligonucleotides, which I'm going to say, because that's my word for the day.
Excellent. Shame you don't know what it means.
Yes, exactly. So it implies that you wouldn't need to know. You wouldn't need to listen to anything they sang.
But that must happen. People must fall into a niche in that evolutionary area we talked about, and think, I will be doing this. I don't like working with beauty salons, or I don't like working with swim bands, or I don't like working with mortuary equipment providers. I don't know, whatever niche it is you fall into, that must be quite uncomfortable because you've got the reputation, you've got a client base, you're potentially getting word of mouth referrals that you don't want. That would be really hard to get yourself out of.
Wouldn't it?
I don't know what you'd do in that situation.
I think you think about employment. Every single one of those companies is kind of like an employer.
Yeah.
And it's thinking about the transferable skills that you have with that employer. All those tasks that you perform for that client, even though they might be specific to that to their sector, they're just as useful to someone else's sector.
But there's a safety net aspect. You'd have to start building a reputation somewhere else with other types to remove yourself from.
Well, no, you're right. And years ago, I used to be big in underwear, right?
What a phrase!
I'm going to elucidate.
I'm going to use that as a marketing tagline. We're just going to have you on video going, years ago, I used to be big in underwear.
We did. In fact, when we first set out, we were working with about, I think, 5 different underwear companies.
Okay.
And prior to that, when I was at the agency before I set the business up, worked with 3 or 4 underwear companies. So we had some peculiar knowledge in that sector.
And you weren't looking for that?
I contacted one brand to say, look, we've got all this experience in the lingerie sector. Would you be interested in seeing the portfolio, and would you be interested in talking further? They said, no, because you've got experience in our sector with our competitors, we wouldn't use you.
Oh, I find that so weird when people do that.
And I kind of went, I think you might be missing a bit of a trick here. We've got the knowledge. We keep everyone away from each other.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to just copy the website.
Brand differentiation.
Yeah.
But what you're going to get is someone that knows exactly what your market's about. Does that not have any value? I did actually manage to talk around, and she did end up becoming a client. But there was almost a want to reject. And it might have been just as easy for her to say, do you have any, or for me to say, no, we don't have any experience in your industry. And she'd say, well, we're not interested then, we're not interested in working.
Yeah, either way, you couldn't have won that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. But I was at least able to manage talking that round. And it was just things like, and I remember saying, photography side of things, you can't just shoot a model with some underwear on. You have to be aware of how the fit works and the temperature in the studio.
I'm saying a lot of things I did not know about. I'll think about.
Oh, there's a whole load of stuff.
Is there? So you went to loads of underwear shoots.
Yeah. Well,
and you chose to leave that niche and move into greetings cards.
Well,
weird. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they just gradually, kind of dried up and kind of went off. But actually, you think about a model.
Yes. Okay.
Goes into a studio.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes into a warm studio.
Yes.
Where skin tone evens out. You don't have like blotches, or you don't have goose bumps because it's warm enough. But also you then don't have. You think about when a model arrives at the studio, the first thing they're going to do, put their modelling underwear on, is to take the existing underwear off.
Yes.
Leaving strap marks in the skin.
Yeah.
So you have to allow the skin to recover in order to put the modelled underwear on. Huh. And so you end up with this kind of a whole set of elements that make up the vision. Now, I have to admit, this was before the advent of Photoshoppery. And everything had to be hand
Photoshoppery.
Yeah. My goodness, God, that was before then. Yeah, because we got involved in the photo shoots, but latterly, when working for my company, we just did the web end of things.
So you could have been the industry leading expert in underwear.
Probably not.
I would have really enjoyed a discount in that industry. There are only so many greeting cards I can send.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But that was they were interesting times. But it was actually more it was always the technical side of an item. An item has to be in a size, a cup size, and a back size. So
thank you. I understand how my underwear works.
I know exactly. But imagine how much stock you have to hold. If you're going to have a big enough range, you've got a large range, and you've got enough in stock of each item, the number you have to hold in stock to have something that has enough in the right cup size, enough in the right back sizes. Yeah,
that is
really
some unique set of challenges.
Yeah, phenomenal.
But that niche kind of erased itself when you evolved,
yeah, it kind of did, because a lot of them actually closed down. One was one specialised. She niched in oversize.
Okay.
And her business name predated a brand that had come about, who basically sent her a solicitor's letter saying you can't continue to use that name because it's like ours. Yeah, and another one had a very similar thing that happened. It was plus size clothing, because we used to do quite a bit in fashion as well. Yeah, it's really sad to say. So at least two of them were bullied into shutting down, even though they had themselves niched into safe areas that were away from any competition.
It's interesting.
Bully boys tactic.
Oh, I could do a whole episode on that.
Maybe we should do.
Maybe we should, yeah. Then we'll both get irate. Might need a drink for that one. So, niching. It turns out I do have a niche, even though I started this podcast saying I don't have a niche. It's gone really well, this, hasn't it? Do you think we'll ever do an episode, discussion-wise, where at the end of it you go, oh my God, Danny, you were so right?
I don't know. Let's try it.
I know. I'm going to keep going till I find one where you think I'm right.
Hang on. Have we done this before where we have had a discussion where I've proven you wrong? Because I don't set out to prove you wrong.
No, I often just talk myself around to a different...
That's more like it. Yeah.
I'm obviously very changeable. It's like you said, I'm an impulse purchaser. So my brain will flip from one idea to the other, and I'm quite happy to be persuaded into a different way of thinking.
Persuaded yourself there.
I did persuade myself. I'm a very good persuader.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. So, all right, we'll keep operating on niches, and for everyone else, let your niche evolve naturally without it being uncomfortable.
Exactly.
That's my new advice.
Don't contrive it.
Don't force it. If it doesn't fit, don't do it.
Yeah. Well said.
Thanks.
Thanks for supporting us by downloading and listening to this episode.
And a massive thank you also to Dawley, Emily, Nat and Lewis and the BTD Studios for all your expertise in bringing our podcasting dream to reality.
We'd love it if you commented on this episode, as we'd really like to know what you think and what you might like us to cover in future episodes.
And we'll see you on the next one.